Hello, my name's Michael Keneally, and this video is all about the June full moon, which is certainly a case of navigating our powerful cosmic crossroads with wisdom and purpose. The full moon of June the 29th arrives carrying some of the most intense and transformative energies we've experienced for quite some time. While many people associate a full moon with heightened emotions, absolutely, this lunation goes much deeper. It presents us with profound opportunities for personal growth, for spiritual awakening and, if needed, making life-changing decisions now, provided we respond consciously to those energies. The full moon asks us to one essential question: can we remain centered and true to ourselves, even though life will probably feel quite turbulent now because of all the energies surrounding this full moon, which I will describe later on? If we can remain centered and true to ourselves, well, the answer to that question will determine how successfully we navigate the weeks of the lunation ahead. You see, several challenging planetary patterns are active simultaneously, making this a particularly significant full moon. It is so important for you and me, for each of us, to know about these surrounding energies. But first of all, let's look at the key central energies of the full moon itself. Now, in the Vedic sidereal zodiac, the full moon occurs with the moon at 13 Vedic Sagittarius in Purvashada Nakshatra. The nakshatras are the wonderful 27 lunar signs of Vedic astrology. So this full moon therefore offers us a Jupiter energy. Jupiter rules Sagittarius, a Jupiter energy of expansive search for spiritual truths, together with a Venus energy of love and charm, Purvashada Nakshatra. This moon calls us to cleansing and healing and to washing away toxicity. And we need to make an intention of doing this at the time of the full moon and through the lunation. It's also a time to consciously foster your strong sense of self and self-belief. And absolutely deep dive to identify the underlying truth in the key matters of your life now. Make the effort now to discard limiting beliefs now. I think there's a case for writing a spell now to repeat the intention wording that you feel exactly fits the gift of this full moon and your key intentions. Write it out and repeat it at least once daily until the next full moon. I think this way we can become clearer and clearer and stronger in our intention. Okay, that's the moon. Now the sun is at 13 Vedic Gemini in Ardra Nakshatra. With the sun of this full moon in Ardra Nakshatra, whose energy is intellectual turbulence and cathartic transformation, may you navigate this with awareness and success. Ardra Nakshatra is ruled by the fierce storm deity Rudra and is governed, the ruling planet is Rahu, the north node. ambitious, driven Rahu. But managed properly, this can help you destroy the outdated structures of your life. Identify them clearly and destroy them with the necessary destruction and emotional cleansing and purification now. With the storm that washes away the rubbish, so new growth can then occur in your sense of yourself, who you are. What are your key life issues now? And get a reading from me. I can really help with this. My Star Wheel Astrology website, go to that. Now, in the Western tropical zodiac, the full moon falls with moon at 8 Western Capricorn, the sun at 8 Cancer. So we need to know that this is a challenging and disruptive time. Yet we also need to know that it offers us very much growth opportunity if we can know about the details and sort out who we are and what our life purposes are now and in this life generally. So as I said, do get an astrology reading from me where I shall offer you such depth and care and healing. Do see the blog post that goes with this video if you want to read these rather complicated facts and see them written out. Now, in my readings, I always deeply combine both your Vedic and your Western astrology. Vedic astrology is essentially based on the karmas that we have to work with in this lifetime. Western astrology is essentially focused on our psychological personality and its unfoldment in our lifetime. We absolutely do need to understand both. So yeah, go to my Star Wheel Astrology. Go to the website. Right. First of all, let's look at the 4 challenging energies to be aware of surrounding this full moon. Well, the most challenging, in my opinion, if it aspects a planet in your chart, is that Uranus, Mars and Sedna form a utterly powerful triple conjunction. Perhaps the most important influence surrounding this full moon is the rare conjunction of Uranus, Mars and asteroid Sedna. Each of those 3 carries its own distinctive energy. Uranus brings revolution, awakening and sudden change, and we need revolution in our sense of self and our awareness of what our life purpose is. Mars brings action, conflict, courage and force. Sedna represents profound loss, feelings and events that can ultimately become an unexpected harvest through spiritual growth, a harvest to you, a harvest to me, and a harvest we can share to others. Together, these 3 may manifest now as unexpected events, emotional upheavals, dramatic changes. Yet they also offer you and me an invitation to transform adversity into wisdom and bring in needed life growth. This influence will be strongest if it activates important planets or angles within your own birth chart. Rather than fearing change, ask yourself, in what areas does my life genuinely need a revolution now? Sometimes disruption arrives because our soul is asking us to move in a completely new direction. Forget the stagnant and wrong present direction, if that applies to you. Open to new insights lost on us, or denied by us or invisible to us up to now. So that's Uranus, Mars, Sedna. Okay, the second major surrounding energy to this full moon are Saturn and Neptune challenging the full moon. Saturn and Neptune both form challenging aspects to the Sun and the Moon. What is Saturn's lesson for you now? Saturn asks us to face reality honestly. Its influence may feel heavy, creating emotional restriction, discouragement, fatigue, forcing us to confront karmic lessons when the time for that arrives at each stage in our life. But what we need to know is Saturn always rewards perseverance and hard work. If you are willing to do the necessary inner work, what initially feels difficult often becomes the foundation for lasting success, for harvest. That is the nature of Saturn. And Saturn goes retrograde soon, on the 27th of July. So retrograde Saturn energy will be inescapable for us to understand, work with, consolidate and reap a harvest. No messing with Saturn now following this full moon. We need to actually perceive our karmas more clearly so that we can work with them. That's what Saturn demands. Okay, that's Saturn. What's Neptune's invitation? Well, Neptune brings an entirely different challenge, but they actually can work together now, and they're both in the Vedic sign of Pisces. Neptune's difficult expression can create confusion, emotional overwhelm, blurred boundaries, wishful thinking. Yet, Neptune is also the planet of intuition, of spirituality, of higher vision. If we avoid escapism and instead develop and trust genuine intuition and journeying, Neptune becomes one of our greatest allies. Neptune turns retrograde on the 7th of July. So do see the monthly charts and the ephemeris on my Star Wheel Astrology website, the July page under the More drop-down. This gives all the planet positions, and there's the charts as well as the ephemeris. Together, Saturn and Neptune invite us to combine spiritual insights with practical action. Vision alone is not enough. Discipline alone is not enough. This full moon asks you to consciously combine both vision seeking and receiving and disciplined hard work. The next major factor is Kalsa Yoga. Basically, Kalsa Yoga is when all the traditional Vedic planets are positioned largely on one side of the nodal axis, which is the case now. And this configuration often brings pressure, anxiety, karmic turning points, important life decisions. Rather than viewing this Kalsa Yoga as something to fear and sensationalize, I see Kalsa Yoga as representing the serpent of transformation. Throughout many ancient traditions, including Celtic and Vedic teachings, the serpent symbolizes renewal through the shedding of your old skins. Perhaps this full moon is asking you and me, what is the old identity of yours that is ready to be shared and fall away? Perhaps old beliefs, outdated careers, wrong scripts in relationships, wrong inherited family patterns have done their purpose now and need to be shed like the serpent sheds his skin. Transformation always begins by shedding what no longer serves us. And to have a reading from me, send me questions as you book about what you think needs shedding. What does your astrology say? Another major point is that this moon conjuncts the fixed star Fasces, F-A-C-I-E-S. Now, Fasces energy is traditionally associated with intense focus, determination, and at times ruthlessness. Handled unconsciously, this energy may produce conflict or emotional volatility. But handled wisely, this particular star energy creates extraordinary courage and determination, and we need to identify what is our courage and determination nature now, and as I said, even repeat a spell daily to keep it on course and growing and working. Like all astrology, planets don't remove our free will, they simply describe the energies available to us. And then we choose how we choose to respond, and that remains our spiritual freedom, the benefits or the losses. So, what's the central message of this full moon and how to handle it? Despite these challenging influences and energies in the full moon and surrounding it, one message stands out above all others, and that is manage your mind. It's not easy at this time of this full moon. Do a regular check, even a log of how you're doing that in the period of this lunation. How are you managing your mind? What's giving trouble to your mind? External events may feel chaotic now. Unexpected situations may arise now, but we don't have to become emotionally swept away by them. Instead, we have to seek to stay grounded, to identify and focus on our true priorities now, to avoid unnecessary conflict now, to choose love over fear, to pace ourselves now. Above all, to walk your authentic life path now. You see, often our greatest emotional discomforts aren't punishments, they're guidance. Sometimes anxiety is simply our soul telling us that is no longer your path now. So, let's look at the blessings hidden around this full moon. Well, fortunately, this lunation also contains some remarkable gifts. You see, Jupiter is in the Vedic Cancer, where Jupiter is exalted. Jupiter, the great benefic planet, occupies Cancer, its sign of exaltation. And this actually radiates to us qualities such as wisdom, faith, spiritual connection, abundance, purpose, optimism, connection to the divine. Whenever life feels uncertain during this full moon's lunation period, consciously reconnect with Jupiter qualities. Consciously seek wisdom, gratitude. Consciously seek higher guidance, put aside time. I really do believe writing out a spell and repeating it each day can be so helpful. Secondly, there's a powerful talent triangle now. One of the most encouraging features of this full moon's chart is a beautiful talent triangle involving Pluto, Neptune, and the Uranus-Mars Sedna conjunction. This configuration suggests that profound transformation can lead to remarkable spiritual growth and coming more into your power now. Pluto will be asking many of us to release old identities now. Sedna will indeed remind us that suffering can become wisdom. And so suffering awarenesses and memories can arise now in your life. But dealing with those strongly and with love and spiritual awareness can so improve our strength at this time when Neptune does offer us vision, intuition and compassion energies. So Pluto, Sedna and Neptune together describe a journey from challenging towards empowerment. Sometimes life's greatest harvest only becomes visible after we've walked through life's greatest storms. And certainly Uranus Sedna energy is storm energy. And of course, Mars is transiting to join it now. So, final thoughts. Every full moon shines light on what has been hidden. And this one is certainly absolutely no exception. Although its energies may feel intense, they also offer you tremendous opportunities for healing, for awakening, for living more authentically. If we remain conscious,